because you're there. My name is Jude Ikami Jude. Check your time, 7:02 a.m. And of course, today is the first day in the month of July 2025. Happy new month to you, friends and families of Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I will see this month, go see next month and beyond. That is what I say to everyone. Okay, so welcome on board to Front Page Review on this dial, where I serve you latest stories, front page stories, every morning between 7 a.m. and of course 8:30 a.m. Okay, this morning I've got several dailies before me. I've got The Nation, I've got The Sun, I've got Vanguard, I've got A Punch, Daily Trust, Daily Post, Guardian, and so many other newspapers. All right, all just to give you the information that you need on daily basis. And then when I am done, I will join Rufai Oseni, who is going to give us some analysis of these stories. All right, yeah, he's going to be touching on some of the headlines to give us, some understanding of this of the headlines. Okay, now, and when I'm done with Rufai Oseni, Prince Chilaka will also be my analyst today, who will also delve into some of the headlines this morning. All of this is just to give you the information that you need. Are we good to go, everyone? I will begin with the Sun newspaper. I hope it's going to be sunny today, not like yesterday.
Content shared by...
Okay, let's take a ride and see where we begin with. Let's go, everyone. PDP sinks deeper. 5 governors set to defect. Did you hear that? Bandits kill Kaduna vigilance commandant. IGP seeks community collaboration as police launch schools protection squad. ONSA, UK High Commission train Nigerian security agencies on fight against terrorism. Kenyan court verdict. IPOB urges Justice Omotosho to look into jurisdictional property of Kanu's extradition. I take that again. Kenyan court verdict. IPOB urges Justice Omotosho to look into jurisdictional property of Kanu's extradition. And then let me serve you some of the headlines now. APC National Working Committee confirms July 24th NEC meeting for Ganduje's replacement. 2027, Tinubu cements Uba Sani's re-election. Igbo has no future in PDP. Southeast Group is the one speaking here. It says Igbo has no future in the People's Democratic Party. Eschew conflict, division, personal ambition. Dalori warns APC National Working Committee members. How PDP caucus meeting descended into chaos. All right. Permit me, everyone, to move quickly now from the Sun newspaper, and I want to move straight to Vanguard. Vanguard has got some other stories for us this morning. 2027 ambition. I am willing to serve for 4 years only, says Peter Gregory Obi. It says, I am willing to serve for about 4 years only 4 years. Obi speaks. I'll give you a breakdown of that story later. I think I had a discussion with my analyst Peter Anosike yesterday on this. All right, but today we will delve deep into it. All right, we'll look at it from all sides again. PDP factions close ranks. Affirm Ayaw as national secretary. Dalori assumes duty as APC acting chairman. Promises to stand by Tinubu. Over 25 million neutralized Americans at risk as US begins revoking citizenship. Over 25 million. Wow. Neutralized Americans at risk as US begins revoking citizenship. PDP factions close ranks, affirm Anyanwu as national secretary. Saudis. Okay, let me leave this for now. It's a sports story. Our ancestors traced to Nigeria. St. Lucia, Senate President. Did you hear what he said? Our ancestors traced to Nigeria. St. Lucia, Senate President is the one speaking. So we have Nigerians somewhere. That's good. No wonder the president had to visit, right? Okay, it's okay. On kidnappings, youth set Emir's palace NDLEA office ablaze in Kwara State. We are victims of past intrigues within the military. It's a story by Eric Teniola. You might want to grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and get more gist just right there. Yes. ECOWAS must dialogue with AES is another big one. Is a piece you might want to read. And then fear and fragility. How safe are Nigerians? By Dakuku Peterside. Moving on, how Arab monarchs enable Western aggression against defiant leaders. Okay, let's get to some political stories now, everyone. Tinubu announces establishment of diplomatic relations between Nigeria and St. Lucia. PDP fully united, no factions or coalition, says Bala Muhammad. PDP fully united, no factions or coalitions, says Bala Muhammad. Our doors open for Kwankwanso to rejoin and work with Tinubu, says the All Progressives Congress. Our doors open for Kwankwanso to rejoin and work with Tinubu, says Kwankwanso. And then moving on to some of the headlines quickly. PDP governors fumed over BOT members' embarrassment. Wabara and of course Makarfi are the ones speaking here. Don't turn Nigeria to Russia. Bode George condemns police siege on PDP secretariat. Don't turn Nigeria to Russia. Don't. To some of the headlines, our ancestors traced to Nigeria. St. Lucia, Senate President is the one speaking here. And then Dangote refinery slashes petrol price by 4.5% to about 840 naira per liter. EFCC arrests 74 suspected internet fraudsters in Abuja and of course raid hotel. Akpabio congratulates Anambra on re-election as NGE president. UK-based Nigerian caregiver jailed for malhandling 88-year-old man. UK-based Nigerian caregiver jailed for malhandling 88-year-old man. There was a video I saw where, you know, I think that one was about a 90-year-old woman. I don't know how to put it, but it's fine. It's just fine. It's vice versa over there. If you see what some of these old folks are doing to the young ones, these caregivers, you would not just want to stand it at all. They can spit on their faces, they can throw blows, they can just do funny things, and you just look at them. What's going on? It's okay. Let's go. Let's move on to some of the headlines, everyone. You know, in Nigeria, man must work, right? He must travel and make ends meet. That's what it is. On kidnappings, everyone, moving on. Youths set Emir's palace, NDLEA office ablaze in Kwara State. Police arrest 3 over death of sex worker in Ondo Brothel. Slave trade. Most St. Lucia residents came from Nigeria. That's the vice president speaking there. EFCC denies disobeying court order over Abuja property linked to Diezani. I take that again. EFCC denies disobeying court order over Abuja property that was linked to Diezani. Wiki alleges land grabbing reduces Uni Abuja land to 4,000 hectares. I move from Vanguard newspaper now to another newspaper. This time, The Guardian is going to guide us to the next set of stories. And then there are pictures here. The Guardian has these pictures. Tinubu addressing St. Lucia lawmakers. Yeah. In other words, I hear someone speaking. Now, Papa, be this so. We not get You understand now? So we have Lucia State. Federal government launches amnesty portal for visa overstayers ahead of August crackdown. AMCON lists multiple properties for sale in Lagos, Abuja, Oyo, and of course Rivers State. AMCON lists multiple properties for sale in Lagos, in Abuja, in Oyo, and of course Rivers State. Yes. To some of the headlines now. How interests overlapping roles may undermine new tax regime. PDP upbeat on party's prospects after NEC meeting. OK's Anyanwu's reinstatement. How Shetima stalked APC's early NEC meeting. And then Israel-Iran-US conflict, the path to global peace. Calls to strip president of power to appoint NEC officials intensify. I hope that scales through though. Calls to strip president of power to appoint INEC officials intensify. Nigeria establishes diplomatic ties with St. Lucia. And then Minister Awani others tasked businesses on continental trade and of course integration. EFCC's witness Jega recants, says Arik 85 billion naira loan not performing. Court refuses CBEX promoters bail request from EFCC custody. Federal government seeks dialogue with striking FCT teachers as women farmers protest. Jega rallies modern national reform to end farmer-herder conflicts. And then that story is coming again. Calls to strip president of power to appoint INEC officials intensify. NCC may review operating levy to increase the regulatory compliance. Revive steel industry to sustain blue economic growth. SEREC tells federal government. And this time around from there, we will touch on another newspaper. This time, Daily Post will lead us. This time, Daily Post. Daily Post with plenty of headlines here. I'll give you one after the other. Concerns as Nigeria's debt balloons to about 149.39 trillion naira amidst worsening infrastructural deficit. Concerns as Nigeria's debt balloons to about 149.39 trillion naira amidst worsening infrastructural deficit. Dangote refinery reduces fuel price as petrol marketers hold emergency meeting. They are my only source of livelihood. Herder cries after mysterious lightning struck cows in Ogun State. Okay. PDP NEC affirms Sam Anyanwu as party national secretary. They are my only source of livelihood. Herder cries as mysterious lightning struck cows in Ogun. That story is repeating itself again and again. AHSED moves to transform young people and secure Nigeria's oil asset. ICANN to establish Governor Bago Student Center in Mina. 3 cattle rustlers arrested in Abia State. And then Natasha's prosecution trial of integrity in Nigeria's politics, says CSO. Natasha's prosecution trial of integrity in Nigeria's politics. 209 graduates bag first class in Dulce Varsity. Did you hear that? 209 graduates bag first class in Dulce Varsity. Congratulations. But we're talking about employment too in Nigeria. Okay. PDP crisis. Only Damagum can reveal why he is confusing and misleading party. Ex-spokesman Ologbondiyan is the one speaking. Only Damagum can reveal why he is confusing and misleading the party. Ex-spokesman Ologbondiyan speaking. PDP and Iroko tree. Policemen said order to seal secretariat came from above. PDP and Iroko tree. Policemen said order to seal secretariat came from above. Okay. And that is Bode George speaking anyway. Oyetola inaugurates Senator Aide led NPA governing board. PDP NEC affirms Sam Anyanwu as party national secretary. And then PDP begins expanded caucus meeting amidst heavy police presence. Coalition. He won't keep his promises. Omokri warns North against backing Peter Obi. Okay. He won't keep his promises. Omokri warns North against backing Peter Obi. I think this man is just fighting to bring Peter Obi down. It's obvious. It's just clear. It's just clear. It's okay. How PDP governors BOT resolved impasse. Coalition to adopt ADC on Wednesday. Coalition to adopt ADC on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Toji's ally Dambokolo. 6 bandits commanders, 182 others killed in Zamfara. Barao Ganduje others arrive Medina for Dantata's burial. And then on cancer, 16 states lack clinical oncologists. And that is according to NCS. On eviction now, APC chieftain files contempt suit against EFCC boss. Bauchi government constitutes 41-member committee for creation of new emirate. 4 more to go here. Ganduje's resignation sparks jostling for control in Kano APC. Dantata's burial postponed till Tuesday. That is today. Right? Okay. Is it true what Tinubu has not slept? Is it true that Tinubu has not slept in any other state apart from Lagos, as Peter Obi claimed? People are fact checking. Is it true that Tinubu has not slept in any other state apart from Lagos, as Peter Obi claimed? Is a big one here. And then finally here, Wike slashes Uni Abuja land from 11,000 to 4,000 hectares. That's much. That's really much. All right, let's punch it this time around. When I say we punch it, I'm talking about Punch newspaper. Teachers to jostle for 51 million naira Maltina prize. Ex-general rejects emergency rule for North. MTN backs Borno schools digital literacy agenda with tablets. MTN backs Borno schools digital literacy agenda with tablets. ECOWAS Parliament seeks legal framework for AI in West Africa. Coalition will fail. Sokoto behind Tinubu. APC chair is the one speaking. Coalition will fail. Sokoto behind Tinubu. APC chair. NEC fallout. Worrying PDP blocks reunite for 2027 showdown. And then, federal government clears 14,000 e-visas. Targets overstayers in renewed crackdown. On emergency rule, Tinubu may restore Fubara Rivers lawmakers in July. That is this month. And the man don't agree to almost everything now. APC NEC convenes July 24th to decide Ganduje's successor. Wike making renewed hope visible in FCT, says Tinubu. And then 4.7 trillion naira debt. Federal government yet to meet Gencos despite promises. Can I serve you some more stories now? Let me do that. APC pegs fees for senatorial by-elections at 20 million naira. And of course, for reps, it's 10 million naira. APC pegs fees for senatorial by-elections at 20 million naira. Reps, 10 million naira. Stop damaging PDP's image. Damagum warns party members. And then, on Lagos local government poll, don't let us disgrace our leaders. Sanwo-Olu 6 APC victory. NEC reinstates Anyanwu as PDP National Secretary. Jandor unveils campaign group for APC ahead of Lagos local government poll. So soon. APC NEC meeting to hold July 24th. And then there's an updated story here. 2027 running mate talks humiliate Shetima. Professor Udenta. 2027 running mate talks humiliates Shetima. This is Professor Udenta speaking. Deregister inactive political parties. Lawmakers tell INEC. And then APC remains strong despite Ganduje's resignation. This is an APC chieftain speaking. Before I get to speak with Rufai Oseni, let me pick some stories courtesy the Nation newspaper. RMAFC, Tinubu's tax laws will ease low-income earners' burdens. NTAA grounds Rano aircraft over engine failure. Candidates boost council water supply with borehole. Youth center would mobilize for Tinubu. It's okay. No community too small to enjoy democracy dividends. Tinubu assures Nigerians. Ganduje's replacement likely at July 24th APC next meeting. And then finally here, federal government offers visa waivers to Western Caribbean states. Federal government offers visa waivers to Eastern Caribbean states. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Everyone feel very, very free to join the conversation this morning by visiting any of our social media platforms. But I like it when you join me on YouTube. Yeah, it's easier for me there to read all of your messages. Okay, so you will do me a favor by just grab your phone, get to YouTube, to the search bar and type VOP 90.3 FM. VOP 90.3 FM, and then you're just right there. Get to the comment section. Let's get your thoughts, your opinion there. And don't also forget that our WhatsApp number is also open for your conversation. Yeah, your messages, your comments, your query alongside. Okay, yeah. The WhatsApp number is 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. At this time, let's join Rufai Oseni for some analysis now. Let's go there.
A couple of stories making the rounds today. So some things I would like to disagree with. Peter will be saying that he can solve the problem of Nigeria in 2 years. I do not believe that can happen. And I will tell you straight away. And I do not like it when politicians, try to sort of think that they have a one-size-fits-all to the solutions of the problem of the country. It was said that he said that during his talk he gave over Twitter to some of his followers, and they were also talking about the consideration of doing one term. I think politicians should not promise the things that they cannot entirely do. And we must call him out on this and effectively make a strong case as regards it now. Because you see, these are things that they will hold politicians by. And anybody that tells you is going to solve the problem of Nigeria in 2 years, it should properly have a grasp of the situation and be able to look critically about what is bedeviling Nigeria. I do not think. And whoever says that should be able to give us precept by precept on what it's going to do. It's not a tea party. It's not a joke. It's not something we can just say things like that because we want to end votes. And that's why I would like to call Peter Obi to order this morning. Secondly, another point of view I'd like to bring forward is the PDP debacle. Like I said the other day, it's going to be a lot of PDP commotion today. And it happened. Only God knows who instructed them to allow police officers get to the PDP headquarters and seal it off when some of the NEC members were supposed to come in this morning. That brouhaha ensued for a while, and we couldn't even get a leeway until the other faction came in and they were able to gain access, and they met with the governors. They ratified the position of Anyanwu. They have also set another date for the meeting. But the PDP debacle continues, and it speaks volumes. Like we were saying the other day, that we know it's going to be a lot of drama. The PDP is just critically very ill and dead, and it's going to take a lot for them to come back. But as long as you have a lot of personal interest, the PDP coming back to where it used to be before is going to be a tall order. And those are the challenges we face as regards the state of politics and politicking in the country as we speak today. So when you look at it empirically, the PDP is a party on its way down and is looking out and is bedeviled with a lot of challenges, and it will be very difficult for that party to stay on its feet. All of this fight is because of the interest leading up to the next election cycle. But how are they even going to get their acts right when they can't fix their own niggling problems in their political party? And these are the people that want to lead Nigeria, and they can't seem to fix their own niggling challenges. So let us be circumspect. Let us look very well and ensure that we have a viable opposition in this country. Nigeria to open visa waiver for diplomats for Eastern Caribbean states. So all of this is a result of the visit of President Tinubu, which a lot of people have raised eyebrows at, to St. Lucia. And they're saying members of the OECS, comprising of Antigua and the likes, Montserrat. President Tinubu spoke on Monday during a special joint session of the Senate and House of Assembly of St. Lucia, where he's currently on the visit. The event took place at a place called William Jefferson Clinton Ballroom, Gross Islet, and it was attended by key stakeholders there, and they're looking at visa waivers, just to be able to deepen partnerships and the likes. You see, the question we've always been asking President Tinubu is, there are challenges here. I think it's time we also focus on the challenges here, rather than hopping around to the Caribbean. That has constantly been the conversation. And like I was saying, if the president has also focused on the challenges here, like the challenges that happen in Niger with the floods and things like that, like visiting the people there. So what's the need for going to all this Caribbean where we also have problems here? Insecurity is rearing its ugly head across board. There's a memo from the United States Department of Justice that has directed attorneys in civil divisions to prioritize denaturalization proceedings against naturalized citizens. So naturalization is a process which persons are stripped. Denaturalization is a process which persons can be stripped of their citizenship, especially one acquired through nationalization, not birth. There's a memo on June 11 on the website of the US DOJ, Department of Justice, that asks attorney to prioritize denaturalization against citizens who are illegally procured on naturalization by concealment of a material fact or willful misrepresentation. I mean, this is just part of the hardline policies of President Trump. Is trying to consolidate and put his foot on the ground. They don't want people of illegal, leanings and the likes, and they are doing everything possible. Like I said before, Umar Damagog says the PDP National Executive Committee has affirmed Samanya was National Secretary. Damagog spoke on Monday and he was saying they just did, got out of the 100 neck meeting. And he said the agenda was to discuss the interaction with INEC. They agreed that Senator Anyanwu was going to act as National Secretary. The acting National Chairman said Anyanwu would jointly issue a letter informing the Independent National Electoral Commission of the planned NEC meeting scheduled for next month. Damagud said the success of Monday's meeting disappointed the party detractors who, according to him, thought he was going to be rank cross. The beauty of the party is that the party, knows the mechanism to solve its own problem and all of that. I think that Damagud is just saying his own side of the story. All of our governors attended. You will not be seeing the press release and counter press release. Adolphus Wabra, the chairman of the BOT, Governor of Bauchi, Adamu Fintiri of Adama, Dauda Lawal, Doye Diri were all present at the meeting. They also had Senate President, former Senate President Bukola Saraki and some other key stakeholders. But there was drama, earlier in the day where security operatives, like I said, did take over. The BOT later moved the meeting to Yaradua Center in Central Business District. Afterwards, various party organs, including the BOT and NWC, held separate meetings before converging at Bauchi Governor's Lodge. And then proceeded to the National Secretariat of the meeting before the commencement of NEC meeting. Chaos erupted. The dispute is over the National, Secretary position. That recently escalated all of this. But during the press conference, Damagug had affirmed that Anyanwu, as the party's National Secretary, present at the briefing was Governor of Bauchi State, where Mohammed Moro and other, key officials of the state. He also announced that the initially scheduled for June 30 NEC meeting was cancelled. Then he affirmed other members too were there. And there's a lot of back and forth in the PDP. The PDP is just a basket case, as we speak today. And he said they decided finally to hold the meeting after due consultation. It's just a basket case, what happened. Let's quickly go to the case of Natasha Akpoti. Another attempt to be able to, put Natasha Akpoti behind bars, because these two cases being filed as regards cyber defamation concurrently are running concurrently. Also failed today. The judge did grant her bail, and this bail was even on self-recognition. So she's going to go through a trial. She's pleaded not guilty. She's entered a plea as regards it. And let's see how all of this pan out in the coming days. NCAA Director Achimogu has confirmed that they have granted an aircraft that Rano aircraft's flight from Sokoto to Kano after an engine failure has happened. They've granted the flight. The Rano aircraft 5NBZY experienced a failure in one of its engines, but the pilot safely landed it. He said Rano's aircraft engine had smoke, which triggered safety controls, and the NCA granted the aircraft pending investigation. They said the aircraft, there was smoke noticed in the cabin and the flight deck. Oxygen masks were done. Appropriate safety measures were initiated. The pilot safely landed the plane without any incident. And NCA Directorate of Airworthiness instructed the aircraft, to remain grounded until the conclusion of investigations. The rescue aircraft that was to lift the passengers out of Sokoto had already boarded Abuja Kaduna passengers and will have created problems to deboard those passengers. The flight out of Sokoto was therefore cancelled. We thank God for the safety, but it brings to conversation again the state of our airlines in the country. But we're happy that didn't go south. Speed Darlington is another case. After he made a personal confession of how he had sexually abused, young girls, he's been looked for, by the authorities now, and he keeps releasing video to be able to justify and say that he's got nothing that he's got nothing to answer for and all of that. The truth is, you cannot make, allegations with your own mouth by yourself, and now you're saying you've got nothing to answer for. I think it's just best for him to be able to face the authorities once and for all, and be able to, answer these allegations of cyberbullying and cyber stalking and the likes, and he should stop this charade of trying to demand 2.5 million as celebrity appearance fee before cooperating with NATIC. What the heck is that? I mean, it just shows how people have no regard, for the laws of the land in the country. And it speaks volumes about, how it takes these things. There are many other stories making the rounds today that we're going to be looking at real quickly, and we're going to be extracting some of these stories. There are some pictures making the rounds of insecurity going on in the north. A particular incident that happened somewhere in Zamfara State, although it's been yet to be verified. How some videos were making the rounds and how people, bandits or terrorists were getting into a particular, village, and it speaks volumes about the plight of the people and level of insecurity in the country as we speak. So these are the things that we should look at, and these are the things that we should scrutinize effectively.
Thank you.
As at when due.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rufai Oseni. Appreciate you. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. I have with me in the studio Prince Chilaka, who is going to be touching on some other stories. All right? Yeah, back to back this morning. Prince Chilaka is just right here in the studio. Good to have you join us, sire. Welcome.
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's talk about Ndigbos, and then I'll bring that to Lagos. Ndigbos outside Lagos, and then Ndigbos in Lagos. Okay. Yeah. Someone came out recently. In fact, let me say a coalition of the Southeast youth leaders has berated the PDP for alleged serial injustice against the region, describing the zone's marriage with the party as nightmare. In other words, Ndigbo has no future in PDP. This is the Southeast group speaking. Would you concur with this?
Where would they say that they have future? The Igbos have not learned to play the Nigerian politics, and that is the problem. We must say things the way they are. I've always maintained that the problem in Igbo land is more of the leadership. Those who lead,
the leadership?
Yes, those who lead the people have not been sincere to the people. Everybody in Igbo land that is into politics is all about himself. It's not about the people. So it's that's the major problem. The Igbo leaders are culpable of all the wrongs that is going on in Igbo land. They are culpable. Is it the killings? Is it the kidnappings? Is it the fact that you do not even have federal presence in the Southeast? Even when PDP was in power, now that you even have APC, where the governor of Imo State,
why would you say the governors are culpable?
They are very culpable.
How?
They are greedy, selfish. It's all about themselves. It's all about themselves. The only governor that is working right now is like the governor of Abia State, that is trying to bring a new lease of life to the state. Go to Imo State. All you see is the governor of Imo State every day on social media. His staffs are on social media putting pictures of what does not exist. This is the same governor, if you remember, when he was campaigning this last election, he said he was going to move about 4,000 youths from the Southeast to America, UK, and all of that. How many of them? What has he done for the youths in the Southeast? People are being killed every day in the Southeast. These are governors who collect security vote. How are they bettering the life of the ordinary Igbo people in the Southeast? These are questions that are begging for an answer. And so when I see people gather and they call themselves emergency youth groups and all of that, it's laughable. So if you're saying you have no future in PDP, where do you have a future?
Or maybe
when Peter Obi came out 2023, you saw how a lot of Igbo leaders opposed him. Even up till now, there are a lot of Igbo leaders that are still opposing him, and it's from the Southeast. When Bola Tinubu came out, how many southwestern leaders did you see that came out publicly to demonize him? So when we talk about the Southeast, it's more like, every man to himself. The Southeasterners are Republicans in nature. It's a big problem in the Southeast. And that is why it's difficult for us to come together. But the thing is, we need to understand that for us to survive as an entity, we can't go it alone.
But I would ask you, why do you think the Igbo governors are playing politics of self?
The thing is, a lot of them, these are people who were not prepared for leadership.
And then you hear some Igbo saying Biafra, we don't like Nigeria. What about like you rightly said? What about the Igbos? What about the governors, the leaders there?
I've always said something about Biafra, and I stand by it. I don't care what anybody believes or says. Biafra is an ideology. So at every point in time, it depends on who is championing that ideology. When you say you want to have Biafra, I've always said it. And that is where I have my own problem with IPOB. When you say you want Biafra, first and foremost, those who are in that vicinity under the federal government, are you holding them accountable? You cannot be seeking for Biafra and fighting the federal government, and you leave your governors and your senators and your honorable members in the Southeast to be misbehaving. You don't do that. Charity begins at home. So hold your leaders accountable in the Southeast. Why is there no development in the Southeast? Is it from the federal? The governors in the Southeast, are they not collecting their monthly allocation? What are they doing with it? Why are we not asking our leaders to be accountable in the Southeast? Why must we shoot our arrow at the federal level and we leave those in the Southeast that are collecting allocations on a monthly basis?
Let me ask you, let's put allocations aside. Maybe these leaders you're talking about, the political elites, are now leaving the work of, building the Southeast to an average businessman. They have money, don't worry, they'll come home and build whatever they want to build. So let's not bother ourselves.
The first responsibility.
An average businessman can
Jude, don't
construct roads in the Southeast.
Jude, don't go that way.
Okay.
The first responsibility of a responsible government is to, one, create an enabling environment, create infrastructure, provide security. When you provide these necessities of life, then the people can stand on it and do what they want to do. If you're saying, let the big men in the Southeast begin to make roads, how many roads can they create? How many roads can they build? How many hospitals will they build? So if you're saying that, then it means that all the allocations collected by the governors should be stopped. Let me tell you, it is laughable. You see a governor decamping from PDP, for instance, to APC, and he's saying, I want to be closer to the federal. I want to be able to benefit from the federal. Jude, is that not the height of mediocrity and stupidity? Whether you are closer to the federal or not, you collect your monthly allocation. Except you're saying that there is a special funds that the federal is giving to you when you decamp to their party. But other than that, if in truth, what a lot of these governors who are decamping are saying, then the federal government should stop giving them their monthly allocation and then use it to, develop the states the way they want. So anybody who wakes up and says the Igbos are not benefiting, where have the Igbos really benefited from? And where will they benefit from? Where is the place of the Igbo man in the political structure of Nigeria today?
Would you blame those that are saying this? Because an average Igbo man, some persons would say, doesn't really care about his home, his community. Instead, he wants to make other people's community blossom, prosper, do things that will make him feel, wow, he's doing well, and then, in other words, he's amassing wealth for himself.
I think it's a wrong perception. The point is that the Igbos like to move around. They like to move out.
That's what we're saying now.
They're businessmen. The Igbos also do not behave like other tribes in Nigeria. An Igbo man would not want to stay in an environment that is unkept, in an environment that is not developed. So you do not hold him responsible for adding value to his environment. That is the ideal thing to do. That is what makes you a human being. So I do not blame an Igbo man who is living somewhere in Lagos and begins to fight to develop that place. It's an ideal thing to do. It shows individual social responsibility.
Okay.
So I don't think it is proper for anybody to hold it against an Igbo man. The truth is that the Igbo man, yes, is the only tribe. I could say it's the only tribe that will move from its own ancestral home to another place and develop it. So how many people move? How many my northern brothers that come to the southeast? How many of them do you see building houses? Even my Yoruba brothers that come to the southeast, how many of them do you see building houses? But the Igbo man likes the luxury of life. He wants to enjoy his life. He wants to be comfortable wherever he is. And it is not a crime if he does that. And nobody should hold him, accountable for doing that. That's the ideal thing to do. If this office is not comfortable, Jude, you will not sit in it. And that's the mindset of an average Igbo man.
Let me relate it with the situation in Lagos. I want to take it to Festac. Yesterday, my colleague discussed this, but I thought we should look at it from a different angle. This is an area where we have Igbos, large amounts of Igbos dwelling. But then, let's look at the state of Festac town in Lagos. After 77, Festac started coming down, dilapidating. I am not going to talk about the structures. My concern is the roads.
Is it individuals that should make the roads? You have a local government chairman. Firstac is under Amuwo of a local government. What has the current local government chairman? What has he done?
I'm going
improving the roads in Festac. Judy, let me say this, and I say with all sense of responsibility. We just have a problem where it appears that the government or most governments in Lagos, either the governors or local government, they kind of have they just turn a blind eye to areas predominantly occupied by Igbos.
That's where I'm going.
No, but that's the truth.
That's where I'm going to.
That is the truth.
You said, what has the Igbo man enjoyed? That's why I'm taking you to Festac from the southeast. Now, when you look at Festac, across Festac town, a housing estate of the federal government, the roads are in very, very horrible state, causing harrowing experiences that leave bitter state, not just in the mouths of residents, motorists, but also businesses that are daily made to bear extra cost or suffer some loss from deplorable roads. From 4th Avenue, by 5th Avenue Junction to 4th Avenue opposite 400 Road, 4th Avenue by 3rd Avenue Junction, 4th Avenue towards 1st Avenue Junction, 1st Avenue opposite Holy Family Catholic Church, 1st Avenue by Heavens Hotel. The whole of 2nd Avenue is a write-off. 7th Avenue by Total filling station towards Alakija. All of that. Now the thing is, where I'm going to now is, you said it's supposed to be a federal government thing. What do they call this body who's supposed to be in charge of FHA, right? Let's put FHA aside. What I want to bring in is, you said that what has an Igbo man enjoyed? Are you now trying to say that is it because or are you trying to say it's because Igbos are the ones in Festac? That's why Festac has been abandoned. Is that what you're saying?
Let me start by saying that when you have Ayodele as the local government chairman, he brought in a lot of infrastructural maintenance and development. I give that to him.
Ayodele?
Yes.
Okay.
Ayo made sure that things were working in Festac. There were roads and all of that. don't forget that Amward of local government is inside Festac. Is inside Festac.
That's absurd.
Now you have Valentine, Engineer Valentine, who is supposed to be an engineer. He has been there as local government chairman. He should be ashamed of himself. Because when Valentine used to be director of works also, when Ayodele was the local government chairman, Ayodele spent a lot. He spent time, energy, campaigning for Valentine. And when Valentine came on board, we thought, oh, it's going to continue. It's going to be a new lease of life. No. The whole of Festac has become deplorable. It's a shame.
Festac is rotting away.
And the truth of the matter is that, they give us that impression because Festac is made 90% predominantly of people from the southeast and south-south. So we feel that it is deliberate. And that's the truth. If you take a cozy journey across Lagos State, you'll find out that everywhere you have Igbos predominantly, nobody wants to do anything. Nobody. And then I ask myself sometimes, I said, why is it that we just have people who are myopic and tribalistic as leaders? Now you're doing all of this. If these people leave that place...
Is Festac an Igbo property?
It's a federal property.
So,
but you see, the thing is, it is mostly predominantly occupied by Igbos and people from the south-south. That's the truth.
Okay. Let's look at who they voted for in the last election. All right. Would you want to point to that as one of the reasons why Festac is left that way?
They
feel like an Igbo man and they voted their brother. So
which of their brother?
Peter Obi, of course.
Come on.
In the last election, that's what people would say.
We need to grow out of this stupid mentality. We need to grow out of it. I feel so ashamed. That's why I tell people, I say, Reno has been talking rubbish all over the place. This is some Reno that criticized, that said a lot of unspeakable things about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Reno wakes up these days. He wakes up in the morning, P2B. Wakes up in the afternoon, P2B. What is wrong with us as a people? Why are we not ready to develop this country as Nigerians? Sometimes a lot of us who say we are patriotic, we believe in Nigeria, we get so ashamed because the things we see our leaders do is unspeakable. People you expect a lot from, people you expect to have common sense, they bring our politics into tribe and religion. And we say we want to develop. We say we want to move forward. How can we achieve that? So for me, I would say it's not about everybody in Nigeria have a right to vote who they want to vote for. That is democracy. Freedom to express. Freedom to choose who you want. You and I cannot be on the same table at the same time. And so we need to grow out of it. What do we want in this country? What do we really want? Do we want a leader, somebody who can develop this country, somebody who has what it takes to take us to El Dorado? Or do we want to have people who are, sentimental about their tribe, their religion, and yet nothing is happening? Who in Nigeria is happy today? Anybody who says he's happy with the state of things in this country today is a liar. And that's the truth. And unfortunately, your leaders don't go out. Your leaders don't socialize with the people. Your leaders, once they become elected as leaders, they change their phone numbers, they put more security at their doors, nobody has access to them.
But before you go too far, I want to rest this issue of Festac. We see we've talked about the problems. Now let's look at the solution to the issues in Festac. What do you think? Because for me, I feel FHA must do their own part to make Festac great again. Is FHA first? But besides that, what other things do you think should be done to bring back Festac's glory?
The first thing you need to do is to look at the roads. That's the first thing you need to do. It's very, very important. It should be a collaborative responsibility between the state government, the federal government, and the local government. I find it really, really absurd that a local government, if a vicinity that is housing a local government looks so, even Ajegula is better than it. Even Ajegula is better than it. So we need to have leaders who believe in caring and providing for the people. Don't come and tell me all the sweet things you have in your mouth when you are campaigning. Tell me the truth of what you want to do.
Okay. All right. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Jude Ikami Jude, and he is Prince Chilaka. Okay. And check the time now is 7:59 a.m. exactly 8 on the DOT. I will be going on a very short break, and when I return, I would have Prince Chilaka talk about the fact that Peter Obi has assured his supporters at home and abroad that he will be contesting the 2027 election and was willing to do a single 4-year term as president. But that's not where I'm actually heading towards. I'm heading towards the fact that Rino Omokri came again, to say that the North should not back Peter Obi. He won't keep his promise. That's what they're saying. But everyone, I will be right back after this short break. Stay there. My name is Jude.
It's time to take the next step toward your dreams. Admissions are now open for the October 2025 and January 2026 intakes at Lancaster University, Ghana. Get ready for a world-class education, global opportunities, and an unforgettable experience right from Ghana. For more information, contact us at +234 0701 708 9214 or email us at nigeria@lancaster.edu.gh. Apply today and begin your journey to success with Lancaster University, Ghana. Your future starts now.
Indeed, your future starts now when you do the needful. It's just simple. Very, very simple. Prince Chilaka, Peter Obi will not keep his promise, according to Reno. Some people say they give Reno any hype. They say they give him the newspapers and TV stations and radio stations are giving him unnecessary hype. What do you think? He said, don't trust this guy, Peter Obi. He will not keep to his promise. Forget it.
All right. I think the first question I have for Reno is, what would he really want for this country? Reno is outside the country. His family, everybody's outside the country. He's enjoying a beautiful life in the US. He's enjoying a society where everything works. He's enjoying a society where, he doesn't stress himself. So if you're outside this country and you feel that the people should continue to remain in poverty, in hunger, in want, then you're not a patriotic citizen. When you say he will not keep his promise, the first question I'll ask him is, will Peter Obi add value to the development of Nigeria? Let us start from there. The idea of keeping a promise or not a promise is, will he add value? If a man would add value to something that you're doing, Judy, which would you prefer? The value or a promise? You see, the kind of remarks Reno is making right now is very divisional. And this is kind of remarks that can light this country up.
It looks like he has something personal with
Yes, because you have moved from civility to stupidity. Reno has moved from sanity to complete insanity. You are not just pitching P2B. Indirectly, you're pitching the Southeast against the North. That is what he's doing. And it's something that you don't expect from somebody like Reno. Statements like that can actually make this country go up in flames. What do you think would happen if everybody begins to attack each other from that angle? What do you think will happen? So sometimes when our so-called political leaders want to make statements, they must be very careful. They must think it through. The way you and I will understand Reno is not the way the ordinary man in the villages who are hungry, who are starving, that's not how they will understand it. The man who will interpret what he has said to other people will not interpret it from the point of view where he's coming from. By the time they want to interpret it, obviously things will be missing. And so Reno needs to be very careful. If Reno wants an appointment from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there are better ways to do it. There are very, very, more, palatable ways to do it. Don't set this country up for kill. People who are close to Reno should tell him.
Do you think the president is willing to play Reno's kind of politics? Is the president really seeing what Reno is trying to do or has been doing? Do you think?
I think to a large extent, this government is supporting or encouraging what Reno is doing. Because nobody has called him to order.
No one calls anybody to order.
No, nobody has. If when I say nobody, because you know that if Peter B had made a comment like that, Baya Onanuga would have come after him. Onanuga would have come after him. So why are they not telling Reno to watch his lips? Why is everybody keeping quiet? Why is the ruling party behaving as if they don't know what is going on? Nigeria cannot afford another war, especially a war that is propelled by ethnic rivalry and religious bigotry. We cannot afford it. And that is why everybody is trying to manage the dicey situation. People like Reno Omokri should not be pouring petrol into a burning fire. Because today I can tell you, Nigeria is at the edge. Nigeria is at the edge. You saw what happened in Kwara, where the youths set ablaze the Emir's palace, and it shows you how things are really getting bad. When people cannot stomach what is happening, when people feel caged, gagged, they can no longer express themselves. What happens? Anger takes over.
Reno said he packaged Peter Obi. Packaged Peter Obi.
No.
Wait.
Reno is packaging everybody. Why has he not packaged himself to become a president? If he's that popular, let him come and contest for governorship or councillorship in his ward. Let's see. Reno is talking like, a football fan who has never been in the field, but he can tell you why number 9 did not score, number this didn't score. That is what Reno is. When Reno was busy demonizing Bola Tinubu before the 2023 elections, what did anybody do? But today, he has become a good boy, just like Bola.
Oh, really?
Yes, because when you want... See, in Imo State... I'll tell you the type of person we have. In Imo State, we had a young man the guy who called Hope Uzodinma Supreme Court governor.
Okay.
Ambrose Nwogugu. Yes.
Okay.
After the guy got arrested, detained, and all of that, he now got appointment as an SA. Since then, Hope Uzodinma is no longer a Supreme Court governor. So that is how bad things have become in this country. We only praise people when we believe we can benefit from them. And unfortunately, our politicians are very myopic. They enjoy sycophancy.
Quickly, let's run now. Two very important questions I want to ask you. Two. governors. I mean, the PDP, APC is about to pull 5 more governors. Like I got information here. There is palpable anxiety in the PDP over plans by 5 of its governors to defect in the coming days. It was gathered that the governors include 2 second-term governors and others who are in their first term. In the aftermath of the 2020 election, the PDP controlled 13 states, including Edo, Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, Osun, and all of that. But these governors that are about to leave, what does it spell?
It doesn't spell anything. See, let me
the
see.
PDP.
No. See, what we need to understand is that if you're a governor and you were elected under the platform of the PDP, it means that the people saw something not only in you, but in your party to elect you. If you decide to come to APC, at the end of the day, your decamping is not moving the people. You're not swaying the people. I'll say just like every other person is saying it. If at the end of the day, all the governors in Nigeria, they come to APC, they have 36 votes. I mean, that's what we have.
And their wives.
And their wives.
And their PAs.
Forget, no.
And the deputies.
You saw when you said deputy, you saw what happened in Akwa Ibom. When the commissioner said, no, I will not.
And their children.
How many of their children are in Nigeria to vote? How many of your governor's children come out to vote? You saw 2023 election when they were going to vote. You only see them with their wives. How many of them do you see their children coming out to vote? You seem to forget that before the election, few days to the election, they all fly their children abroad, just in case things go south. So at the end of the day, you're going to have 36 governors. They have 36 votes. But you see, there's a signal, which is a very wrong signal that this current administration is sending to Nigerians. Edo State Governor came out and said 2.5 million votes. He will give all the votes to the president. And that got me thinking. It simply means that they have, or they are rather thinking of how to manipulate the votes. Because you forget that it was a serious battle, fiercely fought battle for Okpebholo to emerge as the governor of Edo State. And is he trying to tell me now that those who voted the opposition would suddenly vote him and vote the president?
Okay.
So these are simple questions. So when people come out and say, we are giving you 2 million votes, we are giving you 3 million votes, are you going to manufacture the votes?
On the other side,
if it was possible, you understand? If it was possible that you didn't need the people to come out and vote, Wike would not be fighting for the structure in Rivers State.
On the other side of the coin, the chairman of the PDP and he's also Bauchi State Governor, I'm talking about Bala Mohammed, has declared that the PDP is united now, dismissing any notion of factions, coalitions, or internal divisions or wrangling within the party after the NEC meeting.
Well,
PDP don't stand.
Well,
right? Is that what it is?
It doesn't matter. But the point is, where I'm interested is when he talked about coalition. Yes. PDP as a party may not be interested in coalition. But individuals, if you notice, people who are talking about coalition are not talking about political parties. They are all individuals. And nothing gives you a formidable coalition as when individuals come out. Because these individuals have their own blocks. They have their own catchments. They have their own, supporters. So the coalition we are talking about has not, for now, it hasn't gotten to the party level. It's still on individual basis. Yes.
Okay.
So the individuals within the other parties, the strong individuals within these parties, are the ones saying we are going into a coalition.
Okay.
PDP being strong or not being strong. You saw the video when my brother Senator Anyanwu was celebrating his birthday, and Wike said he has won because they have reinstated Anyanwu as, the national secretary of the party. And then I asked myself, why is Wike not coming out openly to tell Nigerians where he belongs? You may say, oh, he's trying to cause damage in PDP and all of. No, but I think there is more to it. I think he's just worried. He's just scared that if he goes into APC, he will definitely become. The party will consume him. Are you going to give him national leader? Are you going to give him national chairman? What position will he occupy in PDP, in APC? So that's why he's holding on to PDP, because that is where he believes he can make noise. And I'll say this. Go and write it down. You see this piece of the graveyard that between Wike and Fubara.
The guy will be reinstated this month. So.
No problem. You will see what will happen. You will see what will happen. Shall be part of the condition is that he has to come and join APC. Now, the way parties the way parties work. If he joins APC, then Wike too must join APC in order to control the structure.
No, Wike no need to join. It is a PDP.
It's a PDP APC.
You don't need to join.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Let's watch and see. But I can tell you, any peace lacking of justice is piece of the graveyard.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Nigerians, is your turn to have a say, or you want to say something. Okay. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Jude. Please, 30 seconds is what I'm giving everyone because of our time. 30 seconds is what I'm giving you, okay? Just call in and boom, that's all, okay? 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. WhatsApp 081717 Move away from your radio set or turn down the volume so we can hear each other. Thank you. Hello, good morning to you. Oh, Innocent, your line. Oh, please call back because we can't just waste time this morning, okay? I'm sorry, we can't waste time at all. Good morning here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is John Legend calling from Mushi.
Quickly.
Jude, very soon now they will start asking us, how do we get here? This is how PDP lead us to this government. And this is how this government will lead us to another, how do we get here? You see all the damages the APC are causing now. When the alarm start blowing, you will come here. When we want to talk, you people will cut us off. Say, we shouldn't say this on national radio. Start shouting now, because what APC is causing in this country now is going to be like, Nigeria is going to be like a gunpowder. It will explode very soon. Thank you.
We pray it doesn't explode. Really? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning.
And good morning to Prince.
Let's go.
Okay. My boy is calling from Afromedia. You know what? Why are we dwelling on politics, this party, that party? Why are we not talking about reformation? Why are we not talking about the economy? Why are we not talking about governance that this government has refused to do? Why are we just discussing APC, PDP, this, that? Why are we not talking about the place of the people? Why are we not talking about governance that this government has just slipping over? I don't want to do anything about it. Everything is in the comatose. Nothing is happening.
Right.
Why?
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah, but you, if you have been following us, we cover almost everything.
You can't even talk of anything in Nigeria today without talking of politics.
Oh, you
No,
know?
you cannot.
Yeah.
Because if you remove politics, nothing is working. Without politics, if you don't talk about politics, you can't talk about economy. You can't talk about infrastructure. They all go hand in hand. So there is no way you will talk of somebody.
And there's no way we talk about all of this.
Not even that. You can't talk of insecurity without talking of politics. It's there. It's a way of life.
Okay. Hello. Good morning here.
Hey, Jude, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Quickly,
Prince,
let's
good
go.
morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my name is Peter Monte from Shomolu.
All right.
This St. Lucia that this man is going to, what is the population of that country? And compared to population of Niger State, see, let me link it up to the people that are promising Tinubu 10 million for 20. I hope St. Lucia is not another location that some illegal vote will be printed or ballot papers will be printed. We should get this man movement because knowing that you have not performed and you want to come back, make you know be say if they go about they look for where they go print illegal ballot papers where the and the inferior servers that they will use in deceiving also. I hope it is not location for 2027
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Prince Chilaka, I know you want to say something, but hold on. St. Lucia is an island country, of the West Indies, and then in the Eastern Caribbean, part of the windward island of the Lesser and Titles. All right, it is located northeast of the island of St. Vincent, northwest of Barbados, and south of Martinique. It covers a land area of 617 kilometers square miles with an estimated population of 180,000 people as of 2018. The nation's capital, largest city, is Castries. So in 2018, there were about 180,000 people. 180,000. How many will be for Nigeria? So 200. They plenty.
180,000. We are 200
million. No, I know. They still plenty.
How many are we?
We don't reach 300 million. When the next census
it appears that that country. We're looking at Kwara State.
Oh really? now you talk about. 90.3 FM, Voice of the People. I'll just take 2 calls and I wrap things up.
Hello, Jide. Good morning.
Good morning here.
Yeah, my name is Innocent. I'm going from Amuward office. Please, I want to talk about this PDP. PDP has no problem. It's people in power. Yeah, the people causing problem in PDP. Pray that the people in power did not remember you. And again, this the American president who is trying to restrict people that say they are there for their this thing. My dear, if I'm American, if I have a country, I will not allow many countries to come to my own country. Like in Nigeria, I will not accept to Nigeria to be a citizen in my district so that their bad blood will not touch my own country. Because Nigeria, see how we are living our life.
Thank you.
And again, this Western you are talking about, last 3 years, you know that HFS sold the land of that place. They lease it. When they collect 10 million, they pay to the federal government. They collect 20 million for their own. All the whole land, that can come and verify. Okay. After that, they leave the road. They didn't do the road.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We have to run. Just one more call to go. And see, everyone, don't worry, okay? By 11 a.m., I will be back here. Yes, I will be back here to talk more. You see, I couldn't read your messages, right? We would have this conversation, if possible. I hope Prince will join me again, by 11. I don't know yet, but then I would have to, Oh, it's okay. So, but I will be back here to talk more on these issues and some other issues, some other, headlines, big headlines I couldn't touch on, all right, this morning. But by 11 o'clock, let's do this again. I'll be back here to read all of your messages and take more calls. Is that good? Thank you so much. Prince Chilaka, I want to say thank you.
You're welcome, Jude.
Thank you. Thank you indeed. My name is Jude. Ikami Jude. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. I am IKAMIJUDEH. IKAMIJUDEH. That is how to spell Ikami Jude. I'll see you again much later. Good morning, night.